Boy, if I egg within at the ready now. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Watch this now. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, please, and hit the bell next to the subscribe button. I could talk about this. Listen, boy, we can be so good when we're good, and we can be so friggin' bad when we're bad. This is one big embarrassment. And those who live within, say, cities like New York City, you understand exactly what I mean, because the Spanish community is going to start judging all Jamaicans like this now. Everybody pop up on the corner with them little bodega, gonna start talking about the Jamaicans that be killing other people around here, that killed a 19-year-old girl and all that other stuff, you know what I mean? When time them start talk, boy, you like that, it's because of some germs like them people here. Now, people are going to say, why are you judging him already when he hasn't been to court yet? Trust me, they know who they have, and he ain't going nowhere, right? If him don't get death penalty, which I think they don't have in the state, he's definitely going to be a lifer in prison. That's why him life like a big idiot. Come all the way afar and come dash for your life like a big idiot. Now, I heard about the shooting. I didn't cover it. I listened to Lisa Evers and I follow her also on Instagram. So I was aware and abreast to the shooting that took place. But to see today, it says that a Jamaican has been charged with killing the teen Burger King cashier during a robbery in New York. I said, God damn. First of all, a Jamaican out of all other people. Now ask yourself, why they couldn't have been from Grenada? Why they couldn't have been from Antigua and Barbuda? Why they couldn't have been from Trinidad and Tobago? Why they couldn't have been from St. Kitts and Nevis? Why they couldn't have been from any one of the Rasclad Island them? Why they had to be from Jamaica? You know why? Because this is the mentality that a lot of Jamaicans actually have. They either support crime or they commit crimes themselves. So them support crime when them see crime. But they'll be the first one up in front of the camera to tell you, though, that no, we don't support them thing there. Wicked people do them thing there, and behind the scenes, them are their buddies. They're just like this. You know what I mean? I'm tired of doing this. I'm not going to beg the world and say, please understand that there are good Jamaicans out here. We're not like the others. It's just going to go the way how it goes, man. The same way how they're quick to haul and pull us in the airports whenever we travel, or they look at you funny whenever you travel, because so many Jamaicans have been caught with cocaine up their asshole and in their belly and in their luggage and all kind of something, trying to be Pablo Escobar of the drug trade. I don't know. And then it blights everybody else. Anyway, I didn't know he was Jamaican until it was printed in a Jamaican paper, which is JamaicaObserver.com today. And that's the headline in it today. Jamaican charged with killing teen Burger King cashier during robbery in New York. A lot of people said, yo, you robbed the place, you took the damn money. Why did you kill the girl? Why did you have to shoot and kill her? And the whole backstory to it is so sad, right? New York, USA. A Jamaican immigrant has been slapped with multiple charges related to the murder of a 19-year-old woman during a robbery at a Burger King in New York on Sunday. Winston Glynn, 30 years old, was charged with first-degree murder and robbery in relation to the killing of Crystal Bayron Neves at the fast food chain in Harlem. According to New York Post or New York Police, sources said that Glynn is not a U.S. citizen and he is from Jamaica. So when they upon green card, he listed an address in the United States in Queens Days Inn. He listed his address in the United States that it is at a Queens Days Inn. So people, Days Inn is a hotel, you know. You can't have a hotel as your... So this brother, your paper is probably not even straight. I don't know his immigration status as of yet. Allegations are that about 1 a.m. on Sunday, an armed robber entered the restaurant and pistol whipped a customer, punched a night manager in his face, pistol whipped another employee, and then he proceeded to the counter where the young 19-year-old employee was working as a cashier. Give me all the money. The male robber demanded the cash, and the woman gave him everything that she had in the till, which amounted to $100. $100 you come afar and come kill people for. Like a big idiot. He later shot her while he was crouched behind a second cash register she was attempting to open to give the robber more money. And then he fled the scene. Now, although Glenn worked at the same restaurant, you hear this? Him work at the same place, you know. That's why some people look at us and be like, nah, I ain't giving them Jamaicans no damn opportunity. Next thing I let them in, and next thing they planning to rob my business instead of them working their way up in the business, right? Although Glenn worked there at the same place in 2020, investigators do not believe that it was a targeted attack. Police sources also informed the New York Post that Glenn had several previous arrests. So he's here in the US being a menace to Rasclot society. Several previous arrests. That means a green card or something him depend, because he's not a citizen. That's been confirmed. If he was illegal, he could not have had several arrests without going through the whole detention for ICE and process for deportation and all them, something that, unless he's just one that kept slipping through the loops, or maybe he was operating under fake names, which none of that has come out, including menacing with a weapon at a homeless shelter he was residing in up to the time of his arrest. Boom. So he was residing at a homeless shelter up until the time of his arrest. Him homeless. 30 years old, now have nowhere to live. Pressure take him in the US and he cracked and crumbled, and this is the end result of it. He seems pretty intelligent to me. I don't know if he has any learning disabilities. I don't know where his family is. I don't know none of that. I don't know how him come here. Anything. He is to appear in court on January 19th, which is a few days away from, and following an appearance Friday in which he reportedly yelled at the judge, who he accused of being a liar, is what they said he did when he was taken before the judge. He just kept yelling, liar. Well, if you watch the video of him being led out of the building, you can hear the people outside. And the people outside are saying something like, you know what I'm called, waste man. You a waste. You a waste. You this, you that. And then he answered back and said something to them about why I'm guilty and the judge don't find me guilty yet. Then he said, you're accusing me of doing something that y'all do every single day. This is the reasoning of an idiot. The last part where he said about where is our reparations for 400 years. These are the exact people, right, with this type of mindset that believes slavery must be their clutch or their crutch for the rest of their life. Yeah, we were held down by the white man and we were put into slavery and 400 years and nothing can happen good for me because of that. And they used that as a crutch to live this kind of a life, right? You walk around, take people's shit that's not yours, even end up taking people's lives. You feel like people owe you something, like society owes you something. Let me tell you something. As an immigrant here, there are a lot of Jamaican people that come here, work their way up. Some of them give away their good job, good position, good career fields in Jamaica, right? I've known school teachers. I've also known other professions that gave up on it in Jamaica. When they got to the US, they start all over, cleaning floors, working at Burger King and McDonald's, working 2 jobs, one in the daytime, one in the nighttime, saving their money, sending themselves to school. Shout out to the ones that I've seen go from being a CNA, home health attendant, to a LPN, to a RN, to a BSN, to a friggin' nurse with a master's degree in nursing running a facility. Enough of them do it. So you can't come here and act like it's an impossible road to trod. You can't come here and act like if you didn't apply yourself, that you couldn't have made something of yourself as well. If there's one thing I know about America for sure, is if you fail here, it's because you wanted to fail here. You understand? You might not make it to the hundreds of millions, but you definitely can avoid certain type of living, like what this 30-year-old boy just this is what he enjoyed. This is what he took up. No wonder he ended up homeless. You understand? And over there shouting about what happened to our reparations. So robbing a Burger King on a damn corner in East Harlem and killing a 19-year-old female that just came from Puerto Rico and recently started working at that Burger King was gonna pay you reparations, you big idiot. The employee. Now you know, when the New York Times covers your story, you've arrived, right? Man arrested in shooting of the 19-year-old worker at East Harlem Burger King, the employee, Crystal Bayron Naives. She was killed on Sunday when the store was robbed. The police said, as I said before, that a 30-year-old man has now been charged with the murder. The man who the police say fatally shot the 19-year-old worker at a Burger King in Upper Manhattan during a botched robbery has been arrested and charged with the murder. Mayor Eric Adams and other officials said at a news conference on Friday. The man is Winston Glynn. He had entered the fast food restaurant on 116th Street in East Harlem shortly after midnight on Sunday and pulled out a gun. He demanded that the employee behind the register, which was Crystal Bayron Naives, the same female, turn over all the cash. But as he crouched behind the counter and she crouched behind the counter, struggling to find the key to open the machine. See, I'm reading a more thorough breakdown of this incident, which is printed in the New York Times. The first one I read, just to confirm that he was Jamaican, came out of the Jamaica Observer. All right. So as he demanded the money and she emptied one register, she went to another register. She only had $100 in her register and he was not satisfied with the $100. Seen? So she went to the other register. Now, as she was crouched down behind the counter because she don't want to get shot and struggling to find a key to open the machine, authorities said, and it was all seen on video, authorities said that Mr. Glynn, who is 30 years old and Jamaican, shot at her once. She was struck in the chest. She died at the hospital. Now, I know he's going to say, I didn't really mean to shoot her. I was just trying to scare her so she could open up the register faster. Well, bullets, when you squeeze triggers, they go. And they don't divert. They don't turn corners. They don't do any of that. The most they'll do is hit something in its direct path and then ricochet or something like that. So him kill the girl. Mr. Glynn was charged with several counts, including first-degree murder, robbery, criminal use of a firearm, the police said, and a lawyer for Mr. Glynn could not immediately be reached on Friday. He was homeless up to the point of this robbery. I highly doubt that he's able to afford a good lawyer. He's going to get what we call a public defendant, and he's probably going to get one of them public defendants that has a boot heels lean, and his pants don't fit properly, and his shirt crushed up, look like he just took it out of the laundry. That tells you that he's just there to check something off the box because your ass is going to prison. We here to cop a plea, and if you don't accept this plea, then you going up the road, and I'll see you on the way. As he spoke alongside police officials at the department headquarters, Mr. Adams said that the fatal shooting was an upsetting example of the gun violence he made a central part of his campaign last year as he pledged to tackle gun violence in New York City. Now, the mayor said that he visited the mom of the girl and he saw the pain in her face and he saw how much this incident just tore her apart. This is Mr. Adams. I don't come to press conferences of arrests, but this one, for me, this is the mayor of New York saying, I don't come to press conferences of arrest for murders. But this one, this particular one for me, this was personal. The killing of Miss Bayron Naives was another painful loss in this section of East Harlem where she worked, a neighborhood where gun violence is actually a very common thing. Don't worry, my Jamaicans who like to say, see it there, them kill off people are foreign too. Don't you notice this one was a Jamaican? And also, if you do the numbers, how many people were murdered in New York City compared to how many were murdered in Jamaica per year, and then you do the whole population number versus land square mileage and all this stuff, you will understand that Jamaica is still way ahead. So I don't want to hear nobody saying anything about that along those lines. You understand? Now, the police said that Mr. Glynn, the Jamaican, had been identified on the surveillance video bearing a pair of headphones that are similar to those he had with him during the shooting. He was arrested late on Thursday at a home address in Brooklyn. Mr. Glynn had worked at the same Burger King as the shooting victim between April and December of 2020. He got hired there in April and he left in December. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and he was out in December. Roughly 9 months is all he could have held a job down for. But officials had no indication that he and Miss Bayron knew each other. Officials said that he had more than likely just planned to rob a store that he was very familiar with, because he worked there already for 9 months, so he knows the ins and outs. He knows the manager. He knows their movements. He knows, so he was going to go, right? And this is an easy target in his eyes. He wore a black ski mask. She had already taken out $100 from another register before the shooting, the police said. And he had 4 prior arrests to this. Authorities said, including for criminal possession of a weapon in an incident during which he brandished a knife. And this was a fight that happened at the homeless shelter where he was staying at. Now, in the days after Miss Baron Naivis was killed, residents of East Harlem held several vigils, including placing pink and white balloons and bouquets of flowers and more than 3 dozen candles against the entrance of this Burger King. At one of the memorial, a cousin of Miss Baron Naives said Kiara Fuentes described the consequences of the incident that she said was hurting her family so much. And of course, she was only 19 years old, man. Come on. Any family would be hurt. Any parent that has to bury their 19-year-old daughter would be hurt. So we don't even have to read through any paperwork that says the family was hurting. It's given. Miss Naives had recently received her GED, which is the equivalent of a high school diploma, and she was working at Burger King to save her money as she planned for her future. This is what a family friend told the New York Daily News this week. She had just came from Puerto Rico and moved over to the United States of America. The teenager's 14-year-old brother had been the one to receive the call that she had died in the hospital. That's trauma that stays with you for years. Many of us grew up in the same conditions, Miss Ayala said. It is inhumane and cruel to continue to allow communities of color to live under these circumstances. Basically, just like Tupac Shakur said, we in these communities, we live among the people that you are scared of. The system is scared and they don't want to fix the system. They unleash these people and let them back. It's just like the dude that killed Young Dolph, right? And is wanted for Young Dolph's murder, who recently got caught. He was in a big shootout before. He was in a fist fight. And then he went and popped the trunk and pulled out an AK-47 and shot up a whole area with a whole bunch of people in it. I believe it was a movie theater and a dancing hall, a ball, whatever, and shot multiple people. He got sentenced to 5 years, and in 5 months of his sentence, he was out because the law in the state in which he lived provided for him to be able to ask the judge for his release. And the judge said, we are into rehabilitation, not punishment, and let the youth go. And see, he ended up taking the life of somebody that was not only young and rich and famous, but a very accomplished person who was an asset to his community, helped a lot of people, paid a lot of people bills, sent a lot of people to college, invested in a lot. with its people, he could have left the community a long time ago. So they let the garbage back into the community to kill out the good ones. And it's crazy. And like Tupac Shakur said, we the ones that have to live in these places, these projects and these tightly overcrowded blocks where all the damn child molesters and the drug dealers and the robbers, you know what I'm talking about if you live in the city. It's sad. But this is what it is. And shout out to my Jamaicans. Here is a shining example of what not to come a foreign come be. I'm going to leave it right there. Leave your comments in the comment section below, man. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video with SouFLoTV. I'm out. The boy said, what happened to with 400 years of reparation? Yo, them are going to ring you up in the youth. Remember me told you.